Coming out of another weekend chock full of boxing, we have more to talk about. You see, we're in the fourth quarter of 2025, and boxing is really taking us away with competitive matches and matchups. And such was the case on Saturday, December 13th, 2025, from Ace Mission Studios, Los Angeles, where Badou Jack took on Noah Mikaelian for a rematch, a fight that they had fought earlier this year that saw Jack retain his WBC title at Cruiserweight, where he got a majority draw. The fight was very close, and Jack, who's now 42 years of age, defeated Father Time by holding on to the title, and the 35-year-old Noah was frustrated because he felt that he had done enough to win that match. And so here they fought again, facing each other, and a bit of a different outcome this time, where we had a chance to see that Jack lost this decision this go round. And that's something that frustrates Jack, because I'll tell you something. He's hung around the sport long enough to try to edge out decisions, squeak out a payday here and there, but he stayed out of danger from younger fighters. Father Time is undefeated in the sport of boxing. And so, as reported by Ring Magazine, he beat Badou Jack in his rematch for the Cruiserweight title of the WBC, and Mikaelian and Jack were docked points both for rabbit punching, and the fight got incredibly ugly at the end of the 8th round when their corners and commission officials stepped in to break up the combatants who were still wildly swinging at each other. There was plenty of bad blood here. The fight was broadcast on Amazon Prime pay-per-view, and that's one of the reasons that a lot of people are unaware of it, because some people, they're not looking at the lower profile fights as what's challenging and what could be met for, as far as thinking of championship caliber fights and fighters. In this instance and case, it probably would have been worth looking at because of the bad blood rivalry between these two combatants. And so now, Mikaelian comes away after this victory and has a record of 28 wins and 3 losses with 12 KOs. And it said that he controlled the clash against Jack, who's now 29-4 with 3 draws and 17 KOs throughout the 12 rounds. And he was rightfully rewarded with scores of 116-110 twice and 115-111. So, 7 months after declaring he was robbed of a win, Mikaelian delivered the statement performance as he sought, dominating the second half of a fight headlined Dash Boxing and 555 Media's Championing Mental Health 2 show. This is according to Ring Magazine. The first fight in May ended in a majority decision win for Jack, even though Mikaelian had outlanded him 153 punches to 122, while throwing 301 more punches. Mikaelian filed an immediate appeal that was granted by the WBC, and the fight moved forward once a $301,018 purse bid was secured. Mikaelian, a 35-year-old Armenian, he made sure that there were no remaining questions in the rematch. "We corrected the last decision, and I got my hand raised tonight," he said. This time it was a fair judgment. Respect to Badou Jack, at his age especially. Badou Jack credited Mikaelian for his performance in what turned out to be a rough and tumble affair. It's not easy to perform at this age, said Jack, who's 42. Came into the fight as the sport's second oldest champion. I don't feel that great. I had a great career. We'll see what happens. I'll tell you what should happen. Badou Jack and fighters like himself need to go ahead and let the sun set, because there are plenty of younger fighters out here who deserve the opportunities to get in there and not only defend their legacy, but also secure legacy and purses that can see them ascend and graduate and elevate in the sport. Some of these other fighters who are just kind of taking up space and place instead of the fighters who should get the opportunities is quite frustrating. The article from Ring goes on to say the second round ended with both fighters throwing multiple punches after the bell, prompting referee Jerry Cantu to enter and issue a stern warning. It was the first sign of some roughhouse tactics to come from a pair of cagey veterans. But before the fouls, it was Mikaelian who was getting the better of the exchanges in the round. Jack got into a great groove in the third by stopping Mikaelian in his tracks with several hard right hands. Mikaelian answered in the fourth with hard rights of his own. Seemingly frustrated with an earlier headbutt, Jack hit Mikaelian after the bell again. Cantu walked back to the corner with Jack and gave him a stern warning on the stool. Mikaelian started breaking down Jack in the fifth and sixth rounds with several combinations and left hooks that backed him up. Jack retaliated by rocking Mikaelian with several huge right hands in the seventh that backed his rival into the corner. After the sequence, Mikaelian was warned for holding and rabbit punching. Later in the round, after a single rabbit punch, Cantu docked a point from Mikaelian. The eighth round got real ugly and featured excessive holding and rabbit punching, this time from Jack, who was docked a point. As the bell sounded, both fighters kept hitting each other, a sequence which forced their corners and officials to step in before it got even more out of hand. Tempers were tamed from the ninth round on as Mikaelian got back on his front foot and led the action. Jack appeared fatigued and held excessively once the action moved into close quarters. Mikaelian, meanwhile, wisely answered by loading up with big shots as soon as he was granted space from Cantu's separations. He swept rounds 8 through 12 on the cards of the judges. You see, when fights like this transpire, sometimes people don't get a chance to witness what is exactly going on. But I'll tell you something. One of the things that really makes people pay attention to boxing is the competitive nature of fighters. Apparently, these two men were very heated as a result of what transpired in their first meeting. But salute to Noir, who came out on top in this fight and who fought with a passion because he wanted to set the record straight. As far as Badou Jack, it may be very well time for him to sail off, but he's had a strong career and he's made quite a few accomplishments along his way. This is Stormy B-Man. Shout out to the mighty LDBC and Liberated Perspective, a third eye view of the world. For more content such as this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let me know what your thoughts are about this particular fight if you've had the chance to check it out or catch it on replay. Do you think that Badou Jack should retire? And what do you think is in store for Noir going forward as the new title holder? Who would you like to see him face off against? Leave comments and let's discuss further. Peace to everyone out there, and everyone please remain safe.